the big like an inroads, and the one that really changed probably your lives as well, the worldwide smash hit Aqualung. It's such a recognizable album, the artwork. I mean, the title track itself, and we'll touch on that title track first. I mean, the riff itself. Where did the riff come from?
Well, in the early days, Ian pretty well wrote everything. The chords he wrote on guitar, so chords and the main riffs were all his. So the song and the riff were joined at the hip, and then in latter days it developed where we're all inputting. So I mean he had incredible songwriting skills, and I think stand up was big. So when we did Benefit, we were in a really positive, confident mood, and really enjoyed making that album. And then Aqualung, I think we sort of stalled a bit because we'd toured for a few years. We were, I mean, maybe a bit too confident, a bit too cocky, and it didn't have the standard. It didn't have the buzz that the other two albums had. We struggled to make it sound good. So we didn't really believe instantly it was going to be the monster hit that it was. Mainly because the studio, it was really hard work. So we didn't know what we had. But I mean, we worked hard at it. We worked hard at everything.
Yeah. And you mentioned there, sorry, that you're saying it was a struggle. Was that in terms of the songs itself, or was it the sound of the songs, or the sound of the production? I mean, what was it that was the main struggle?
I think the standard of playing, just playing as a band and getting good takes. I think, I don't know why it happened. It was just that little blip in time. And I think, maybe we were just too sure of ourselves and didn't really go back to zero. Every album you start at zero, page one, and you build it. You don't go in thinking this is going to be a piece of cake. I know exactly what I'm going to do, because you don't. You don't want to be like that. The studio fell apart every other day. It was just a sort of perfect storm of things going wrong. But essentially, the big factor, we struggled to get good performances. And, without that, the backing track sounding strong and tight, that it wasn't going to happen. So we had to work hard at getting it right.
And you certainly did get it right. And then another thing on the Aqualung song itself is the solo. We have to touch on that. It's been acclaimed the world over, regularly voted as one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. I mean, what do you remember of the composition of that solo then? Is that something that you worked on and kind of built up, or was it something that just came off the cuff and that one sounds great, let's go with that?
I wrote the arrangement for it. So, I mean, the chords are based on the song, the verse of the song, but I sort of put it together as an arrangement, and we recorded the solo backing with the song, obviously, and then I went in to do I had no ideas at all. I think I had the sort of beginning, the half time. I sort of worked that out, and then it was just like, heads down, see what happens. That's the way it was in the studio all the time. And so I go in, start playing the solo, and that's when Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin were in the basement, and we hadn't seen them for a month, but they were buried in their album and we were in ours. And he finally had a half an hour off, and he came to say hi, and he was waving at me from the control room, and I couldn't stop playing. I was in the middle of the solo, and it was going okay. So I had to, and he put me off. I didn't want him to put me off, so I just turned around. I turned my back on him. Sorry about that. But that was the take. That was, one take, and that was it. And it's sort of warts and all. And I think recording in those days, it was naive, but it just had a buzz because it was one take, off the wall. You just didn't know what was going to happen. And occasionally, I mean, probably unless something went really, really wrong, you would just do it, and that would be it.
Wow. And did Jimmy make any comments about the solo at the time?
I think he left. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. He probably didn't. No. We were friends. It wasn't. I don't think I ever had that sort of mutual admiration thing. And Tull were never like that. In Tull, we never ever told each other, "You did a good job. I like what you did on that." It just wasn't in our ethic. It wasn't for a bad reason. It's just we took it for granted. We're going to do the best we could. We worked ridiculously hard to make it the best, and that was it. It was a done deal. So yeah, we never patted ourselves on the back.
Wow. And then obviously you're saying it was a struggle to make and things like that. So what was your response to the way it was received then, and the fact that it went so big?
Well, it was slow. It was a sort of a slow burn. We went back to America and played most of it. Every album we did, we'd start touring and play the whole album. And then according to how people liked it, you'd lose a song or here and there. Some albums right down the line, you'd lose most of the album. But you don't know how they're going to sound live. And some things work, some things are better, some things aren't quite as good, but you make them work. But it just clicked, and that's why I did I did 50 years anniversary tour of Aqualung with Clive Bunker, and we play it from beginning to end, and it's still great. And every track is a great live track. Why? How? Don't know. Nobody. If everybody knew why and how, where and when, life would be boring.
It would be easy, wouldn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just clicked with the audience, and then obviously we took it around the world. We took it UK, Europe, Japan, South America. But we just started touring everywhere because we loved working.